Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 87 of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then they will be given two different driveways to shovel, and, walkways to create amongst the yard and things like that. And whoever completes their tasks the fastest will be the winner. I need my driveway shoveled is the long and the short of it, and we just had a really big storm up here in upstate New York, and I am commissioning this task to these SoulsBorne bosses, so that's basically what's going on here. Nothing new. I'm using them as my slaves, so that's it is what it is. So the battlefield has been cleared. It can house any and all SoulsBorne bosses, and it has housed all of them at least once in a SoulsBorne Battle Royal. That happened a while back. There are pretty close to 100 SoulsBorne bosses in this little generator that I created, and some special spots that can create some fun and interesting scenarios. So we are going to stop this wheel, and we are going to see who the first competitor is going to be on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death 87. The Twin Princes, who we landed on last episode, I think. We landed on the Patches spot, which is Patches doesn't want to get on anyone's bad side, so you pick three bosses and decide the best one of the three to fight. And the Twin Princes was the first one I landed on, and I was pretty sure that was what we were going to end up with, but then we landed on Dragon Lord Placidusax, and then I went with a coin flip, and then we landed on Placidusax. So, yeah, that's the way that ended up. The Twin Princes, along with the Nameless King, are one of two bosses that my girlfriend remembers. They're so infamous in my history that my girlfriend remembers who they are, because I spent a long time fighting them the first time I played Dark Souls 3. Pretty close to a week for the Twin Princes, and one whole week for the Nameless King in order to defeat them. So, as I've said before, they have a special place in my heart, and I love them now. Not so much at the time, but I love them now, and I love the Nameless King now. So, definitely a very, very cool boss fight, and I think they have a special spot in a lot of people's memories. So, yeah, it's always fun to see the Twin Princes on a SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. All right, we are going to take this wheel for another spin, and we are going to see who the opponent is going to be for the Twin Princes. I don't think the Twin Princes would have too much trouble shoveling my driveway, so that's a plus. I mean, Lorien doesn't have very good use of his legs, but I mean, Lothric has pretty good magic skills, so I think they could do pretty well. So I'm not very concerned about that. Oh, begging your pardon. All right, the Twin Princes on one end of the battlefield, and on the other end we have Seath the Scaleless. That is an interesting fight. However, I need to do a quick check and see if this battle has happened before, if I could find my notebook. Okay, ignore all that. When I picked up my laptop twice, the wheels spun again, and the first time we landed on Morgott, and the second time we landed on Dark Lurker. We landed on Seath the Scaleless, so that's where we are right now. The Twin Princes versus Seath the Scaleless. That fight has not occurred before. We have had the Twin Princes against Ebrietas, and I don't think I have found the Twin Princes anywhere else on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. So this is going to be the fight, and I think it is a very interesting one. So I'm just going to say this over and over again, because I have a tendency to fly through when I'm putting these videos together. So we did not land on the Dark Lurker, and we did not land on Morgott. We landed on Seath the Scaleless. So it is the Twin Princes versus Seath the Scaleless, and we will now go to the contractually obligated bio. So let's have a look at the Twin Princes. Lorien and Lothric, the Twin Princes, are the children of Osiris, King of Lothric, and Guinevere, Queen of Lothric. Osiris, that lucky bastard. They were bred to be the saviors of Lothric. Lorien is a powerful knight who at one time challenged the Demon Prince in single combat and single-handedly defeated him. A battle that left his great sword eternally scorched with the Chaos Flame and his armor scorched black. Lothric, on the other hand, was designated to become a Lord of Cinder. The hopes were so high for him that a platinum sword was created for him, infused with magic. And being a Lord of Cinder means you have to sacrifice yourself to rekindle the first flame and keep life going, essentially, blah blah blah. That platinum sword I mentioned was created long before Lothric was ready to fulfill his destiny. And his shrine at Firelink Shrine was the same. It was made long before he was ready to even think about embarking on that quest. Unfortunately for Osiris and the kingdom, Lothric soon revealed himself to be a sickly child who never grew out of his baby clothes. And Aldea, the first of the Grand Archive scholars, someone who was doubtful of linking the first flame, became his mentor. And Lothric demonstrated a aptitude for sorcery. So that's probably where Lothric got his disdain for linking the first flame. So when Osiris realized that Lothric was never going to be strong enough to link the first flame, he resorted to one of the most repulsive acts that one could think of. He binded the souls of the two princes together, hoping that Lorien's strength would make Lothric stronger. And for the record, Lorien had no problem with this. He wanted to help his brother. Unfortunately, it did not work that way. It worked the opposite way, and Lorien got weaker and lost the use of his legs and the ability to speak. And fate often does not stop at one joke. It'll often make two. The curse made it so that the brothers could not die without both dying at the same time, essentially. Lorien could not die unless Lothric died too. So Lorien became crippled. Lothric stayed sick. I know I've said it before, but great job, Osiris and the royal family. That was just... You guys really know how to problem solve. Idiots. So the first flame begins to fade, and the time comes for Lothric to fulfill his duty and sacrifice himself to become a Lord of Cinder. Lothric basically says, "Fuck you." He refuses. He goes back into his castle and decides to watch the flame die from afar and usher in the Age of Dark. So it was Lothric's decision, essentially, that caused the world itself to resort to an emergency measure of awaking all the past Lords of Cinder to link the flame. Ones that had already sacrificed themselves and done so, like Yorm the Giant, Aldrich, Devourer of Gods, the Abyss Watchers, so on and so forth. And then they all wake up and all of them decide that that's not what they're doing, and they all go decide to do different things. It was just, that's really funny when you think about it. So the world results to another emergency measure and wakes you up. So that's how you rise up out of the grave and you start your quest to basically murder everybody and link the first flame. So that's basically how that comes about. And eventually you climb to the top of the Grand Archives and face the Twin Princes and so on and so forth. So yeah, I have talked before about fighting the Twin Princes. They were one of those ones that took almost a week, playing almost 8 hours a day to try and beat. They are no joke. They are certainly no joke, especially in that second phase. So, but you know what? Again, Also with the Nameless King as well. Looking back on it, it's one of my favorite boss fights. So, yeah, I have a special place in my heart for the Twin Princes, and it's always fun to see them pop up on Battle to the Death. Seath the Scaleless is a descendant of the primordial dragons that inhabited the world before the first flame came into being. However, he does not possess the rock scales that make his peers immortal, for whatever reason. Instead, his deformed body is infused with the power of sunlight, or moonlight, I'm sorry. Infused with the power of moonlight, which he managed to study and make weapons out of and such. In the meantime, the four lords that are in possession of the immense Lord Souls had built their civilizations on the ground, underground, and then one day they just decide to pop out of the ground and be like, oh, this world is ours now, which is dick move, I think. So the four lords wage war against the dragons. Seath decides to betray his kind and help Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, win the war. And Gwyn's victory was largely due to Seath's contributions. Seath was amply awarded for helping Gwyn win the war. He became a sworn friend to the Lord of Sunlight. He was also gifted one of Gwyn's daughters in marriage, which that's not cool. And I'm pretty sure if I were Gwyn's daughter, I think I might have just offed myself instead of being offered to a dragon that could do whatever he wanted with me. That's just my opinion. What a dick Gwyn is, by the way. Seath was also awarded a piece of Gwyn's soul, which Gwyn just seems to willy-nilly hand out to everybody. And he was also awarded with the Royal Archives, which became Seath's home. Just all the knowledge of the gods in one place so that Seath could research. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to make a correction. It was one of the daughters of Gwyn's mother that he awarded to Seath. So it was actually his sister, I guess, but that really doesn't change my outlook on it. Seath, however, had no interest in politics or anything like that, and to that I say he's my spirit animal. But he just really consumed himself with his research. Was determined to figure out why he couldn't be immortal like his brethren. His research then turns to the power of souls and how he can use them. He is credited with being the founder of sorcery. And then he becomes very obsessed with crystals. He starts creating crystal creatures and crystal weapons and crystal people and all this stuff. And that just became the object of his research. All of his research culminated in the creation of the Moonlight Greatsword, which he used to catalyze the power of moonlight. And then he finally found a cure for his mortality. He achieved immortality through the primordial crystals. So Seath did accomplish what he sought out to do. So I guess after all that time and effort, he should be commended for that. But then, as is the case with people who are immortal, I say that like it's a real thing. Obviously, I'm talking about in stories and such where immortality is a thing. But as with all these people, what happens? Seath gets lonely and then starts losing his sanity, because that's what happens when you are immortal. Eventually, he begins to hate everything. His experiments become twisted. Eventually, Seath creates Priscilla, who is a crossbreed of human and dragon, I guess. Priscilla was feared by the other gods because it was outside the natural order of things, and they didn't understand her, which is the origin of most fear in the world. And eventually, Gwyn links the first flame, the gods leave out Orlando, Seath stays in the Royal Archives, and is just there doing whatever it is that Seath does. You meet him, he beats you, then you go back and you beat him again, or whatever. So, Seath is an interesting character, definitely in the world of Dark Souls, and judging by his lore page here on Fandom, he did a lot of stuff. I mean, what I told you didn't even cover like the half of it. So, Seath has had a very big part to play in the world of Dark Souls, and he is certainly a worthy addition to SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. I do think this is a very interesting fight, and I think there are a lot of different things that could happen in this fight that could make things interesting. Let's just say that. It's two very different types of bosses. So, yeah, really anything can happen in this fight, but I don't think Seath the Scaleless has enough tools to take down the Twin Princes. I really don't. I think Lorien hits too hard. I think Lothric can hit from quite a distance. And both have very powerful attacks. So, I just watched a couple boss fights with Seath the Scaleless just to refresh myself, because I'm really not as well versed in Dark Souls 1 as I am the other games. And I watched one person basically go behind Seath, and Seath was kind of screwed for a little bit there. So, and you know, the Twin Princes can teleport, so if they were to somehow teleport behind Seath, they could do a lot of damage to Seath before Seath even has a chance to do anything in return to even answer for it. So, I do believe the Twin Princes win this fight, and you know, it could be a tough fight. It could maybe come down to the wire a little bit, but I think Lorien and Lothric pull this one out, and yeah, I think they have a little bit too much up their sleeve for Seath the Scaleless to handle. But that's just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death draws to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter are all Bobby's World 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run. And this past week, I am still in the catacombs. And the title of the episode is Bad News, Good News. So, it kind of goes from one extreme to the other in this one. But, I kind of, for a few seconds there, was thanking the Dark Souls gods and was apologizing for anything bad that I said about the game. So, but only for a few seconds. So, that might be worth checking out if you want to see what's going on there. So yeah, there's always interesting things going on in the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now, SoulsBorne Battles to the Death. So if you just watched it, I don't really have to explain what exactly that is. So, Your Father's Story videos are up for anyone to check out. Basically, I answer questions from a book that I bought from Walmart. For the boys and for Kate, and really for anyone that wants to know a little bit more about me. Should be another one of those coming out very shortly. The Bobby's World Hunger Games are in there. Also back in the archives, as it relates to Dark Souls, I have the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask run. Volume 1 Limgrave, I'm sorry. I have the Sekiro No Healing Gourd run. I have the Dark Souls 3 No Estus run, and the Dark Souls 3 No Level Up run. And a whole bunch of other stuff. There is an NBA 2K23, I believe it is, Jordan Challenge series. So, all that stuff's in the archives. You want to go back and check that out. Actually, as you're probably watching this, 1 week ago, I did a live stream for the first time in quite a while. It was Dark Souls 3, of course. My no level up build, battling the Nameless King. So I did that for a couple hours, and I also, in the same stream, I battled Frida, Sister Frida, as well. So, you might want to go check that out. Some fun times, some close people in my life dropped in there, and we got to chat for a little bit. So that was a good time. It was a fun time, and I think there may be more live streams in the future. I think there may be one tonight as you're watching this. I'm not going to guarantee that, though. As I'm recording this, I'm not 100% sure of that or what exactly I'm going to do if I decide to do that. So, But stay tuned for that. You may want to check out the channel later tonight and see what I'm doing for a live stream and all that stuff. There's also a short from that live stream as well that's getting a lot of traction right now. So if you want to check that out too, if you're interested, leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that jazz. Pushing through as always. I do this stuff at the end of every episode. Talk about how tired I am and how much I love doing this and how much I love and appreciate you guys. And I mean that sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I really do. The growth on the channel lately has been awesome, and I really appreciate it. And keeps me doing everything that I do for the channel and the podcast and the writing and all that stuff, despite the fact that I'm so freaking tired. This past week I just worked overtime this week, so yeah, a lot going on, and actually there's no end in sight. So yeah, that's really all I got to say about that. But as always, I appreciate your love and support very much. So there's more to come, and there's no end to sight. No end in sight for that either. So I hope everyone has an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See you for live, y'all. Bye.
Hey, boss.
Yes, Courtney.
Mrs. Anderson called. She wanted to order several copies of your books for family and friends.
Oh, that's amazing. Get some ordered, have them sent over to me, and I will sign them for her. I really appreciate it if you could do that for me.
I didn't know you were an author.
You did. Courtney, you've been with me for like 2 years now, and we've talked about it fairly constantly, and there's an ad at the end of every one of these videos.
Well, that doesn't mean that I listen to everything you tell me. Are the books any good?
Well, readersfavorite.com said that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. I know, that's pretty crazy, but that's exactly what it says. It's on the Cry of a Raven review. Go check it out.
Well, that's pretty cool. What are the books about?
It's about a soldier who gets exiled for saving a baby dragon, and later he's killed, and he wakes up 3,000 years later with strange powers, and he's watched over by the very same dragon, and the world has been overrun by evil, and he now must travel back in time to stop the evil that started in his own home country.
Wow, that sounds interesting. How can I get copies of the books?
Well, you can go to robertblanchardbooks.com and order your copies there. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast.
You have a podcast too?
You know what, Courtney? You are doing such an amazing job that I think you are due for a raise. How does that sound?
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you, boss.
You bet. Too bad the raise is going to be when I raise a water balloon over her head and just... Maybe I'll wait until her mom calls. I think she'll find that pretty funny. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com right now and get your copies of the series that got 3 5-star reviews from readersfavorite.com, 3 Author Shout Recommended Reads Awards, and 2 Literary Titan Silver Awards. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free, read more reviews, short stories, and much more. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts.